Well, hello everybody. This is Dr. Troy Dukowitz of the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big-ass results in your life and business. Today's topic is this: you never know who's going to be inspired by your book. So just a few days ago, and I had shared this on a previous podcast, where we were at a family gathering. We were in Wisconsin, and it was shortly after Thanksgiving, where my father-in-law invites over my wife's cousins and some uncles, and it's just a nice little family gathering. And my son, who loves to see his cousins, both of them do, Wyatt and Watson, both love to see their cousins, Alice and Cleo. And Alice she wanted to share a book that she wrote that day and the day before. And just such a sweetheart as she gathers everybody, probably about 20 people there. Some of the kids get on the floor so they can listen to her, and she literally sits in front of the room, and she goes ahead and starts to read this book. It's called Smile Day. And what was cool about this is that as I'm listening to her, I'm hearing my son wrote a book, coming to a book stand near you, very seriously, called Mustache Day. And so as I'm listening to her read this book, I'm hearing excerpts of things that she had heard him write in Mustache Day. Now, she wrote her own book, which is really cool, but as I started hearing some of these same things coming up in her book that were in his book, I thought, how cool is this? That him writing a book inspired her to write a book. Now, she may not have known it, she may not have sent it, the parents might not have said it, may not have seen it, but I know in listening to it that that's exactly what happened. And what's cool about that is it's what's so beautiful about kids. Like, they weren't in competition with each other. She had an idea, and she had remembered what he had done, and she turned and wrote a book. And she got to share it with people, and she was so excited, and she was so happy with it, and it was just so awesome to sit and watch. And what really came to mind is, number one, the fact that kids inspire each other all the time. They really do. Whether you know it or not, we tend to think that kids are like always competitive and always have to kind of one-up each other, which does happen. Kids do this. If you have kids, you know this is true. But it's like there's the other side of it that says, but they inspire each other too. They inspire them to do things and take action. And she wrote a book. Now think about this in your own life. Where is it that some of you have said you were going to write a book before, and it's just a pipe dream? It's something that you've actually truly taken action to do. She sat down and wrote 10 to 15 pages, and boom, she's got a book. Like, just like that. Has a book. She was inspired and took action. Where in your life have you been inspired but not taken action? I mean, we've all been there. Hell, I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't been there before. But we have to look at this and say, where in my life, and body, being, balanced business, maybe you've been inspired by somebody else, a friend or colleague who lost weight and said, oh my God, that's so inspiring, I'm going to go do it, but you still haven't taken action. Maybe you have somebody who's like learned how to meditate and they're teaching meditation courses, and you've wanted to take meditation and teach meditation courses, and you're so inspired by their action, but yet you've still done nothing. Maybe in your relationships, you've talked about how you were so inspired by seeing another couple and how they respond and react to situations. Or you see how parents are with their kids. You say, I'm so inspired by that, I'm going to do that. But yet 3 months have passed and you've done nothing. See, the beauty of seeing this in children is they become inspired and they go do it. They become inspired and they go paint. They become inspired and they go make a Play-Doh sculpture. They become inspired and they write a book. They become inspired and they go build a fort. They become inspired by something and they take action. But yet adults, big people, if you will, get inspired, they talk big and do nothing. Now, this doesn't mean you haven't done some big shit. I'm not saying you haven't done some big shit in your life. It's not saying I haven't done some big stuff in my life. What it's saying is that we all know there's one more thing that we could do. And that one more thing could be the thing that pushes you over the top. That you and I have been inspired in. Where in our lives do we have to sit back and say, man, I've said that I was inspired to do this thing and I didn't take action. But yet I know if I took action on that one thing, it would change everything. It would be the game changer. But yet I keep putting it off. Chances are we tend to keep putting it off because we say, oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have money, don't have enough resources, whatever it is. We come up with all the stories that tell us why it can't happen. But what would happen if we made that one commitment that said, man, this is what I was passionate about. This is what I was inspired by. This is where my heart's calling is. and we took the action to get there. So all you got to do today is very, very simple. Identify in your life across body, being, balance, and business, where is the one area that you have been inspired but not taken action. And you look at that one thing and say, okay, I'm inspired by it. Now the second part of that is, am I passionate about it? And if I am passionate about that one thing, then I'm going to take one action. Folks, I try to make it real simple here. I'm going to take one action in the next 24 hours that is going to move me towards finally going after this inspiration in my life. And as I say always, man, all I have to do is take one action, and imagine if you follow that up with another action tomorrow. At the end of a month, you have taken 30 actions towards your goal. It doesn't have to be as hard as we make it, folks. We always make these things harder on ourselves than they have to be. That's all I've got for you here today. I am Dr. Troy Dukowitz. A few reminders for you. If you want information on the GAP map, the GAP map is going to help you when you have targets and goals. It's going to help you to actually shrink the amount of time that it takes for you to hit those goals, identify the obstacles, and truly go after what it is that you want. Head on over to commitandgo.com. You can get that free there. It's called the GAP Map Protocols. Also, I remind you that if you haven't already, I'd be truly grateful if you would head on over to iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Go ahead and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you give me a rating and review if you feel so inclined. I'd be incredibly honored if you did. And then finally, please share this with your friends. If it has inspired you at all, I want to do what I can to continue to inspire more people to go after what it is that they want in their lives. So that's all I've got for you here today. I am Dr. Troy Dukowitz. This has been the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action to create big-ass results in your life and business. We'll hear you next time. Bye-bye.